the attack could be mounted by a stranger. It could be somebody like, I don't know, somebody pretending to be a janitor, right? Say, walking through, or an IT person, that's somebody you won't recognize. But it could very well be a colleague, a friend, so to speak, somebody who's next cubicle or next desk to you, who waits for an opportunity for you to sort of type in your password and then run to the bathroom or go get a coffee, which many of us do this in the morning when we get in and our keyboards are cold and we haven't done anything yet. We click on the login screen and it displays a password prompt. So the first thing we do, we type in a password, and then, you know, it takes a little bit for the computer to actually like open the windows and wake up. And so during that time, a lot of people get distracted. They either walk away or they turn away. So there's this opportunity for somebody like what Tyler is illustrating right now, is to grab a thermal camera and take a quick snapshot of the keyboard.
So we did that. Let's see what the result of this picture is, to see how you would then go about trying to decipher Drew's.
And so,
There you go.
I made it too easy.
yeah.
But that is.
But how
that
would
is
you?
correct.
But how would you break that down then, Tyler? And
Yeah.
you notice that certain keyboards light up more than others.
Yeah,
Or certain
so-
keys.
You can see, especially the T, you can see
That was
multiple.
the first hit.
It's the
And it
first
was
hit,
twice.
but it was repeated.
Yeah, it was twice.
So you spent more time in contact with that.
Yeah.
But you can pretty clearly see, looking at that, we have a T, an H, an O, a C, a D, an E, an R, and an S. Now, those letters in combination don't really intuitively seem like they'd be anything, but you can run that through any sort of like word jumble program. They're, you know, just cute little things online just to make anagrams if you want to have a fun thing for your name. And, well, if you're on the show The Doctors, and The Doctors is an option, I mean,
Where do you, Drew? Where do you bank? What's your online?
So the truth is that it might not come up with one answer. This anagram, a jumble solver, might suggest several answers. But you know, if you are the adversary, if you are the person,
You could do that quickly.
You could actually try this over time. Remember, you don't have to be in a hurry. Everybody's password prompt allows you a few failed attempts before they lock you out. So if, and most people know how many failed attempts are allowed. So I can try 2 per day. And
Until
soon
you
enough,
run it.
figure out what the password
And
really
I
is.
think I think the place where this is the most dangerous to me, humbly, is at an ATM, where it's 4 numbers, potentially, maybe 5 numbers, because that's directly into your checking account, and that money, if they've got your account and your card, that can happen really quickly.
So good news. You don't have to worry about most ATMs. Yeah, some researchers at UC San Diego a few years ago studied that specific scenario, thermal residue left on ATM keypads or pin pads. And what they found is that most ATM pin pads, being metallic, lose heat. Metal is a better conductor than plastic, so they absorb heat faster, and they lose it very fast.
All right, woo!
Yeah,
They're good.
So that's
All right, so that brings, just be aware, everyone.
2 questions and follow-up. So since this type of a keyboard is cold, and that's why you would notice it, this is less likely on a laptop where there's a battery to keep it warm?
Right, so on a laptop, if your laptop is already like working, open, and ready to go, you're in good shape, because indeed the battery will warm it up when it's under the keyboard usually. But if your laptop is cold and you just came to work, you open your laptop, it's cold, and you just entered your password, you are just as much of a subject to attack as using this keyboard.
I think the other thing I've learned, and if I'm allowed to pick something up here, is this okay, Tyler, if I touch this?
of course.
If you come back into your office and someone is doing this,
That's what he's doing.
you have a problem.
Because, I mean, this
You
is
have a problem.
specialized to sense heat, correct?
So it is specialized. It's a specialized tool, but over the past couple of years, these types of camera have both been getting more sophisticated, better at telling smaller heat signatures for longer, and they've also been getting smaller. There's actually it's not high enough quality to do this sort of attack today, but there is a thermal camera you can just plug into your smartphone.
Wow.
And it just, you know, your smartphone's like an inch longer than it normally is, but I don't think anyone's gonna notice, and people take pictures all the time.
So should
gentlemen.
people, after they type their password, maybe then type in some nonsense or something to scramble
That would be a really good defense. We call it chaff typing. Basically, in the simplest form, what you could do is you could enter your password, then just smear your hand across the keyboard, and
Then you'd have trouble.
I'll read your handprint, and hopefully that's not that helpful.
Exactly. Well, I think it's just one more thing to be aware of. Gentlemen, thanks so much for sharing this.
Great stuff. Thanks for coming.